Okay, so there's an update for Adobe XD for August 2019, and in this video, we're going to go through all of the new features. Hey guys, you're watching Dansky, the place to be to develop your creative skills, and in this video, we're going to go through the new features for Adobe XD, the August 2019 update. So we'll jump to the screen now, and I'll run through everything. Okie dokie, so you can see the blog post here, and I will link this down in the video description if you'd like to check this out for yourself. So August 2019 release of Adobe XD, CSS code snippets in design specs, improved integration with Photoshop, and a new frontier for XD plugins. Cool header image, as always. So we're going to be covering the plugins panel. There's a few changes there. And you've got videos with each of these features as well. If you'd like to watch these for yourself, as I say, I'll link it down in the video description. So you can open and edit images using Photoshop straight from XD. This is something I've been waiting for a long time. Thank you, Team XD, this is awesome. Copy and paste CSS code snippets in design specs, improved bounds for components, and no more fractional pixels. Yes, this is fantastic. Okay, so there's the blog post. You can check it out if you like. But anyway, let's jump into the first one. We have plugins. Ignore the big button for now. We'll come back to that. So in a previous update, the plugins panel is now down here in the bottom left corner. So we can open this. You can see I've got some plugins there. Now previously when you clicked on a plugin, it would load up a window, like a dialog box here in the middle of the screen, and you would do all your settings in there. However, now, some of them still toggle down like this, and you can access those functions from here if they're quite simple. If they are slightly more complex, like UI faces, you can see all the settings appear here now. So it just makes it a lot easier and kind of keeps everything a little bit more uniformed in that panel. So we've got Design Hunt here. This is pretty cool. You get lots of inspiration. Now this is quite tightly packed together, but we can hover over here and just drag this panel out. We could make this massive if we wanted. So we can make this a lot bigger, and we've got lots and lots of inspiration. And this is super cool. Oh, look at that. That's amazing. Okay, we're going to take the little ghost dude with the broom. So I've got an object selected. We'll just click and boom, it pops it straight in there. So if you wanted to make like an artboard with loads of inspiration, this Design Hunt plugin is pretty cool, and it helps you just quickly do that. So what we can also do, we'll jump straight into the next one. Sorry, big button, you're getting overshadowed for the moment. So let's just close our plugins panel down. What we can do now with any kind of image that we import into Photoshop is we can right click and select Edit in Photoshop. Now I've waited for this for so long. I love this feature. You can make any changes to an edit. You're going to do something much better than this, but I could draw a squiggly line, or you could make some actual, like, you know, professional changes. It might be image retouching, color, anything like that. And then all you have to do is just go and save this. We jump back into XD. There we go. It's updated those changes. I'm going to keep this image open just in case I do decide that that yellow squiggly line is ridiculous. So we can just undo that, save again, and then I can just close this down. And there you go. Those changes are immediately updated in XD. So that's super, super cool. Okay, so let's get rid of this image. Next, we're going to come to big button. So I've done this big button here. It's really big, blue, and fantastic. And I've gone share for development. I've done this already. So if I jump over to this, you can see I'm viewing it now here in a web browser. And if I click on an element here, so like the big blue button itself, you can see I get this little CSS snippet section here where it gives me all the code, or gives a developer all the code that they can just easily just grab this by selecting everything or selecting just what they want. And as soon as you let go of your mouse, boom, it's instantly copied to the clipboard, and then you can go and paste that into whatever development-y app you're using. So that's a really, really easy way for a developer to just grab that code. So just click on any element, boom, there you go. Font information, boom, just select it, and yeah, you're good to go. Now, there's something else that isn't actually part of this update. I think it might be a new feature that I maybe missed in a previous one, so I'm just going to show you now. So if I just jump back, I've got a UI kit here. And recently they added the ability for us to change screens. So if I just click back here, I get like this bird's eye view of all my screens, and I never noticed this. I'm pretty sure I didn't cover this you can get flow view as well. And you can zoom in here by using Command or Control plus or minus on the keyboard, and then hold spacebar, and you can click and pan around and it shows you the flow with all the different links and everything. So I'm pretty sure that this isn't new. This might have been added like fairly recently, a little while ago, but I don't remember noticing it. I may have done a video on it. I don't think I did, but just something I noticed when playing around this morning. Okay, so let's hop back into XD. We have big button here. Another new update is if we go and make this a component, so we could open the asset panel here. We've got the plus icon, or what we can do is just press Command or Control K on the keyboard. That's the shortcut. There we go, we have our master component. Previously, when you created a master component, if you added something like a shadow, which I'm gonna do now, so we'll just double click to go inside, add a shadow, and if we had like a massive shadow, something like this, I'll just make that really dark. The bounding box would be like out here, it would be like far bigger than the actual shadow itself. But now what they've done is if we click on this, the bounding box snaps to the actual object. So this just means that our bounding boxes for our objects in XD are just snapped to the specific object. It just makes like aligning and everything a little bit more simplified. So that's a nice little addition to components. And last but not least, we have fractional pixels. So I'm using the latest update, so I probably can't demonstrate this, but if we jump back to the blog post and scroll to the bottom, you can learn more about it here, but essentially fractional pixels are when you're designing, you're getting stuck into a design, you're creating shapes, you're resizing them, you're rotating them, you're moving them around on your artboard. You end up with widths of like 500.25 and the position on the artboard might be 100.678 or something like that. And you get these fractional pixels. So what this means is when you export that as say like a PNG, a raster graphic, those parts of the image that aren't like snapped to the pixel, they're gonna just render as blurry and they're not gonna look sharp. So with this new update, essentially that means that everything you do in XD when you're resizing, when you're dragging around and just creating a design, it's gonna snap to the whole pixel. So you know that when you export that, if it's a PNG or a JPEG, it's gonna look super, super sharp, no more fractional pixels. But yeah, there we go. That's everything for the August 2019 update for Adobe XD. If you've got any questions or comments, let me know down below. But as always, like this video if you enjoyed it. Take care and I'll see you next time.